Located just north and east of Richmond, Virginia, Hanover County has some of the best vegetable growing soils in the state. Like most of early colonial Virginia, the first crop raised here was tobacco in the late 1600s. Famed Revolutionary War firebrand Patrick Henry was born here, and Hanover County was the site of many Civil War battles. Edmund Ruffin, a prominent Hanover planter, agronomist, and Confederate activist, was also known for his pioneering methods of crop rotation and soil enrichment. Today, agriculture is a $55.3 million industry in Hanover County.
It's probably still the #1 industry for Hanover County. It's very diversified, as they have said. We have everything from produce, grain, livestock, which includes beef, swine, goats, sheep, equine. We also have berry farms and orchards, greenhouses, Christmas tree farms. So Hanover is very diversified in its agriculture, which probably does make it one of the more unique counties in the state with all the diversity we have.
We've been growing produce me and my sister, the 4th generation here. We grow, I think it's 20 some different types of produce. We also grow some corn, soybeans, and small grain. We run about 60 head of beef cattle, and we still have some hogs in production.
There are 600 farms in Hanover County, averaging about 157 acres each. Hanover County ranks 15th in the state of Virginia for farm income, number 3 for grain and oilseed crops, and number 4 in the Old Dominion for fruits and berries. And Hanover ranks 6th in Virginia for vegetables and other produce, with 2.8 million sold each year. That includes the locally famous Hanover tomato, renowned for its true taste.
The soils here are very rich, and they have certain minerals that make the tomato taste different, and it gives that desired taste of a tomato. So Hanover tomato is just grown in Hanover soil. And what's interesting about that is if you tried that tomato over in Ashland, where the soils are different than here, you cross the 95 corridor, it seems like the soils change. So again, you're going to have a different tasting Hanover tomato in the west than you do here in the east.
Hanover Cooperative Extension Agent Laura Maxinet says the farm community has always been strong and determined to keep agriculture alive, even as the marketplace changed over the past decade. The local foods movement is driving a lot of the new farmers.
We have a lot of niche farmers that grow anything from small fruit to vegetables to beef, grass-fed beef. And then we have the larger commercial guys that grow vegetables. And the biggest industry in agriculture is still your row croppers with the corn, wheat, and soybean, the grain crops. And we also have, believe it or not, some orchards in Hanover County that are starting up.
But for farmers east of Interstate 95, raising vegetables is still a good way to make a living. Kirby's family raises about 450 acres of produce each year.
Squash has always been one of our major summer crops. We've kind of learned over the years what we can and can't do with it, so that helps. We've been growing squash for a long time, but squash takes a lighter, loamy soil. We say they take a light soil, but when it's dry, they grow good on heavy soil. But when we get wet conditions, like for the last 4 or 5 days, we've been getting a little bit of rain every night. It's not good on produce, and that's when you need squash on light land.
Adapting to change means using new technology to save money and better protect the environment. Kirby uses global positioning satellite guides on his sprayer, and more technology is coming all the time.
We are located on the Pamunkey River with our farm, and we're under best management practices for that. And I reckon in the last 10 years, drip irrigation is one of our biggest conservative movements. We've switched over probably, I'd say, close to 200 acres of our production for produce from overhead irrigation to drip irrigation. And that's a whole lot more fuel efficient, a whole lot more water efficient.
You know, you don't call on the phone and place your orders anymore. They do it by email, over the computer. The bookkeeping's even different. You know, they have workers now, many more workers than when we had growing up. So it's really evolved over the years, and you have to grow to stay in the business.
One of the biggest challenges to Hanover County's 311 full-time and 289 part-time farmers is suburban sprawl. As the Richmond metro area grows, new subdivisions are sprouting up along major roads. Kirby says as a Hanover native, he's not going anywhere, and the growth is a mixed blessing.
I guess in our position, we don't like the sprawl, but it's kind of a good thing because it brings the population, and we got to have people to buy the produce, and that's the whole local movement. That's what's behind it, is that high-end customer.
Hanover County's farming roots run deep, and if anyone can adapt to living with new city neighbors, it will be the growers here who've dedicated their lives to making a living in agriculture. In Hanover County, Virginia, I'm Dave Miller.